Free leads. That's the holy grail in this space. And to be honest with you, you know it, I know it, and I promise you your competition knows it. Without a doubt, the more free leads you have, the easier it's going to be to scale. And to be honest, like that's actually the secret to scaling ads without losing money in the first place. All right, so let me show you how I go ahead and generate leads in my business completely for free. What's going on? My name is Justice Severin. I make these videos for coaches, creators, experts who are really looking to build a wildly profitable business and especially a wildly profitable personal brand because they understand the benefits that come with that, the branding power, the authority, the extra visibility they have, and a lot of these benefits that come without even trying when you lean into this. You know, I thought about something that Jordan Belfort said years ago when I was looking at some of his stuff, and really it was this idea around, he was talking specifically about sales, but he was mentioning how you're going to go ahead and implement what I'm teaching you right now. And then you're going to look up a few months, a year later and realize that you're making a ton of money. I remember it, to be honest with you, I probably was following other things as well too. But that is what happened for me, where I was making $0 and, I was working as an accountant. This is back in 2020. And then I was able to go full time in 2021. And it did kind of feel like I just kind of looked up. I remember I went from, having $0 months to my first 15K month, first 30K month. And that happened all within a span of, 3 to 6 months. So it's crazy when this can happen when you start to go ahead and kind of set up these foundational pieces, these foundational blocks. And today it is going to be that same kind of energy. Just we're not talking about sales tactics. I want to get you to the point of the real essence of a great marketing strategy to help you go from there. So once ahead, if you're new to the channel, go ahead, drop a new down below in the comments. If you're returning, hit that subscribe button. Feel free to wait, though, if you want to wait until, you might be on the fence. But if you haven't subscribed yet and you've been back several times, stop kidding yourself. I'm here every single week dropping the goods. I'm sure you want to see the next one. So I want to go ahead and just really dive deep into this topic here today, though, because I know it's a game changer for everybody. And just especially because, once again, most coaches, creators, experts, I feel like they're either terrified of ads because they've been burned before, or they're just grinding with organic content with no real system and basis kind of praying something goes viral. Either way, they're bleeding time, energy, or cash. You are paying regardless. If you're in your eyes, you might just think, well, I have all the time in the world. Well, sadly, that ain't true. And so you want to be as effective with your time and your dollars as possible here, right? So there's really two main ways to generate free leads in your business, right? Let's start to talk about the two different paths in a sense here. Path number one is the pure organic way. The way that I typically teach this is using the 30-minute visibility system, which is a part of what I teach in the 30-minute coaching system. You can check that down below. I'm sure I'll have in the description if I remember. But it's that in a combination with the proactive lead generation, right? So these are the two organic strategies that I really teach, even my students, to be honest with you, when it comes down to creating free leads 100% with organic traffic here, right? And really want to just go ahead and create one strategic piece of content when we're using this 30-minute visibility system. You could argue the same way that I'm recording a video right now. And we want to go ahead and basically take that and really give ourselves a chance to break it down, distribute it everywhere, and just basically stack consistent touch points across your audience, right? That's organic done with leverage, basically, right there, right? And really, I want you to think about this for like, I had a client, Alan, where he basically came in, went from hustling every day to pulling in 100K cash just with him and a virtual assistant. And that's just because of these two paths basically playing together and the branding power that he had associated with it. And that's why he was able just to tap into these kind of free lead strategies on this end, purely organic, that really I'm breaking down for you right now at a high level, right? So once again, these are, if you will, you consider that there's 4 buckets basically that I teach as far as core lead gen strategies. 2 of them are with the organic strategies, like I just mentioned. We've got our 30-minute visibility system, and we've got our 30-minute visibility engine, and we've got our proactive lead generation. Now we step on to path number 2. That is now with the paid ad side, but we're doing it with low ticket offers. And so, like I mentioned, there's the 2 above, and then you could argue there's kind of like just even one main one down below. You'll see though that we can attach additional pieces to this actual low ticket offer though. But I'm telling you right now, when it comes to these low ticket offers, like this is what unlocks unlimited scaling for you inside of the business. Like I promise you. But the reality is most are afraid of this route. I think just because they view ads as expensive. And like for me, I'll be honest, like when I made my first 300K online, it was purely with free traffic in the sense of not touching paid advertising, nothing like that there. And I'll be honest with you, I did wear that like a badge of honor. Like, yeah, I made X amount without spending any money on ads, yada yada. And I think at its core, I was honestly just afraid of losing money because of all the horror stories I've kind of heard online at that time. And I think even the narrative that I was kind of preaching, throwing stones at people who use paid ads, being the guy who was only using organic traffic and not touching any kind of paid advertising platform. But basically, then I kind of flipped that when I pivoted towards reframing ads as a way to generate free leads. And this really just shifted how I showed up basically in my marketing strategy as a whole. And this element, this pillar, if you will, of the lead gen strategies that I implement and that I teach. And so when you've got a $7 offer or a $97 offer that people buy from your front end, then your ad spend gets covered. And the reality is, it doesn't stop there. For myself, I have it where I've got front end offers that literally are the same price point I just mentioned, anywhere from $7 to $97. But then from there, I have order bumps, upsells, downsells, upsells. And then the reality is, like, by the time the full checkout is done, you want to have it where, what if somebody can spend $300 to $500 with you, all from you just going ahead and moving? Like, you can view it as this way: like, what if you put in X amount of money, and like for like the way I teach it, you can easily spend $5 to $15 a day to get moving on this stuff. Let's just say you're spending $15 a day. You end up getting someone to go through the path I just mentioned. Now, let's just say you spend money for, I don't know, call it 10 days. And let's just say you probably will get a bunch of little sales. But just say you have one of those, and over the 10 days, let's say you spend $150, right? Because that's 15 days times 10, or excuse me, $15 times 10 days, $150. So you make several sales, but then you happen to bring someone all the way through your funnel, and they end up spending $300 with you. So now you have not just a profit of $150 from that one transaction, but think about how you also have these others that have come from those little sales you get in between. So now you are using house money that you can continue to pump into the system and keep it growing. Like, my own numbers show this as clear as day. And we're just talking about high ticket, or just the low ticket side. My current return on ad spend for this exact month is 1.12 before any high ticket sales. Let's understand what I'm even talking about when I say this here. I'm saying that before any kind of 3K, 5K, 10K sale comes in, I am basically putting in $1, and I'm getting $1.12 back on average right now. So I am not, and I'd be fine with break even. Heck, I'd be fine with even like getting, 70, 80 cents in the dollar back, because at that point, I'm still getting all of these buyer leads that I can now, if I have the right elements tapped into, I can that much easier turn them into high ticket sales. And we're going to get into some of these elements I'm talking about as we go through this, but that is a reality for me, right? So if we think about it this way, when you hit that point, you can truly pour money into ads because you know it's coming back without you even hitting the high level goal that you're actually setting out for. I am not running this business to just break even or just to sell low ticket stuff forever, like or as the main goal, right? It's like, I'm not running an e-commerce business. I'm running a high ticket business. But people overlook the fact that having this element within it, it can really help you to bring in free leads that I am 100% breaking even with. And once again, you can argue I'm even getting paid to get leads when you look at it this way as well too, right? Because this month I'm above 1 as far as return on ad spend, right? ROAS stands for return on ad spend there. So when you can really think about it this way, and now all of a sudden you tack on high ticket sales, it's like, let's just say once again, let's say I've spent $10,000 on ads this month. And, at my current ROAS, I would have made back, $10,000 in change. So I'm already a little bit, let's just say I make $500 on top of it. Let's be extra opposite generous and say I made $200 on top of it, right? So now I'm $200 in profit, but now we add on, like, how many leads I'm getting for a $10,000 is an ad spend, and $10,000 I made from low ticket sales. Like, all I need to do is make one sale, and let's just say I'm selling something for $5K. That gets me to a $5K month. But the reality is, if you're getting that many, if you're spending that much on ads with this strategy here, you're going to be getting a whole lot more than one sale, or else the other elements are completely broken in your process. But this is when all of a sudden you no longer become afraid of scaling, because you realize that you are just getting free leads, but you're leveraging a paid advertising platform that's extremely intentional and it can really get high consent, if you will, from the audience as far as I'm interested. I want to know more about what you got, and these are the people that you're building your audience with. And I'm telling you, be powerful. And you may even be asking yourself right now, like, all right, well, what if my low ticket offer doesn't cover ad spend yet? Well, if that's the case for you, or maybe you don't have one, we can talk about that kind of stuff too. But I'll give you some tips on, honestly, if you so at the end at least here, I'll make sure to give you some tips on actually how to make one. But really, if your stuff isn't getting back yet, it's not covering ad spend yet, continue to test. I mean, like, you don't need a ton of ad spend, like I mentioned. $5 to $15 a day can go an extremely long way. I started with $15 a day for a long time, and that just, once again, it just was working so well. And I'll tell you what, the reason I didn't scale up my ad budget sooner back then was just because out of fear. I'm like, you know what? I don't really. I feel like, what happens if, once again, all that, the mental side slows you down. But this is where the reality is. As long as you have a constructive way to review the data and make really data-driven decisions, review the data enough to make true, effective initial tweaks with the ads, upgrades to the offer, upgrades to the funnel, you'll inevitably get to the point where your low-ticket offer is covering your ads and you are getting free leads on a day-to-day basis, right? And honestly, too, if you want more kind of specifics on this, this is exactly what I teach my students inside of my brand of clients using my operating system there. So once again, inside there, that's where we're truly building out your offer, launching your funnel, locking in your visibility, and really the setup of your back end so that your brand can consistently really just turn into clients. Like that is the essence of it there. So I'll have the link below this video, I'm sure, too, if you want more information on that. But what really kicks this up a notch is when you bring in the branding power with the right nurture system. These two elements are critical into actually getting the most for these free leads. And then if we're being real here, it's going to be critical in making the most of any leads, free leads, paid leads, whatever the case is, however you're getting your leads. You really need this. I'm a strong believer that you need this here to really, it just completely changes the entire way you operate, right? Because I would say a couple big pieces here. Like, for one, coaches with branding power, in a sense, I just feel like the way that they're able to move forward, like, coaches with branding power don't panic about ad spend. They don't struggle to charge premium prices, and they definitely don't scramble for scraps, right? Like, and really, like, in fact, in my eyes, like, ad spend not only helps to bring in free leads, but it also helps to scale the branding power on autopilot. It really puts it on full tilt when you have this, because now you're truly just getting in front of eyeballs that you otherwise might have to play with the algorithm lottery system to make it work. And so allowing you to really, this just allows you to really sit on your throne and just kind of cherry pick leads as they're coming in, right? Run the business with authority. This is the kind of power play you want to be sitting and leaning into as you run your online business. You need this. I hate to use the word need for everything, or for anything, but because you don't need anything. But at the same time, if you have this here, it is just a complete no-brainer in the strategy, right? Fear is the only thing stopping you from really taking advantage of this, and fear of the unknown, and fear of really the fact that you don't have the skill set needed to actually create a low-ticket offer that can do this for yourself. And that right there, being able to overcome that can absolutely change your business and, in conjunction, your life forever, right? But based on this side too, like, I want you to think of it this way. Think of it like when it comes down to the NBA, right? LeBron James, he doesn't have to prove himself every single game, right? His brand, it does have to work for him so that even before he steps on the court. And I want you to think about it the same way for you, as your brand can be doing the heavy lifting for you, building the authority before you send someone your offer doc, before you send someone your sales funnel, before you ever enter that virtual Zoom room, and have your prospect already feel like they know you're the authority that much more. Do you understand like what this can do for you? And once again, by doing this, executing this free lead strategy here, you are accomplishing that as well. It's not just about the free lead. It's about the fact that so many people say, Justice, like, I keep seeing your ads popping up in my feed, and you're just like, what is your ad strategy? I got a a partnership deal that I signed on for about a couple months ago. And that is literally how it happened, because they saw my ads over and over. Like, I don't know if I want you to coach me, but like, I feel like we need this in our business. What can we do? Like, what can we do to make this happen here? And so obviously I'll say, well, they have a big brand already too. So there was a no-brainer, situation for me to hop in and just basically plug in my my ecosystem, my kind of philosophy into what they're doing and get some easy wins. But this is what can happen when you really start playing the game differently and you start seeing things differently and you start bringing that leverage into the equation, right? So that's a big one. And so now that's with the branding power element. Now, if we start to, like I said, tack on the nurture system, the right nurture system, everything else starts to unfold in a beautiful way, right? Like when you have, for example, the right sequences, your strongest audience members will start paying attention and raising their hands while it feels like you aren't even trying. This is what I'm talking about here. When you get this stuff set up, it's going to feel like you look up 6 months later and you have this thing that is just pumping for you. Like the gas is guzzling and you don't even understand how this is happening. But it's because of the hard work you put in initially to build it out the right way. The clarity you had to go ahead and set that up for yourself so that now you can reap the benefits, right? And it's because of everything we talked about that it basically up to this point that is at work for us and working for you 24/7, right? That's just one part of the nurture system, if you will, here too, right? Another piece is like when you have an organic posting strategy that doesn't burn you out, right? That doesn't burn you out, but actually enables consistency over the long run. You now start building a moat around your business, right? And really what you bring to the industry on that side. And this is a strong element too when you really pair the two together. It's why I love the paid ad side where we're getting free leads and then the 30-minute visibility engine where we're getting free leads, because now they work together. And if you can have it where obviously we can completely automate the paid ad side of it where we're getting free leads. And on this side, we can really take advantage of the 30-minute coaching system where we're basically simplifying it in a way that's allowing us to repurpose and automate content over the long run. How can we turn that one piece of content into 100 pieces of content? And just really keep on doubling down in that same direction, right? And that's obviously using some AI elements, but then if you add on another AI side, it's like, shoot, when you bring in your AI chatbot into the situation now, this also brings a strong element to your nurture system. Like now, you're basically giving yourself the ability to nurture your audience via text consistently, text DMs consistently to feed your high ticket offer, once again, to these free leads time and time again. Like whether the free leads are coming in through the 30-minute visibility engine, through proactive lead gen, through your paid ads that are breaking even on your low ticket offer, right? We can talk about other paid ad campaigns as well too that inevitably lead to that low ticket offer, because this is a way that we can just constantly make sure we're breaking even and getting free leads in the door every single day. But this is what is the powers of what can happen when you start to have these lead gen systems flowing. Now you can bring these nurture systems, these nurture elements, like I'm saying, you can have a chatbot running for you, booking calls for you. I just did an inner circle call yesterday with my clients, and I was showing them an element of it, how literally it was like at 10:40 last night, offer docs are being sent, calls are being booked, and this is all happening without having, the need of an extra setter. You don't need a human setter to be doing this stuff. You don't need all the things. What you need is a few of the right things and doubling down those directions, right? The amount of leverage you have when you simplify things and play the game this way, going deep on just a couple of these areas that have a drastic lasting impact, it changes everything. I'm telling you, it changes everything for you in the business there, right? So in my eyes, I feel like I want to almost leave you with this. Most coaches, they're asking the wrong question, right? They're asking, how can I spend less, Justice? Like, well, I need to get my ad budget down. That's what you should be asking is, how can I make my leads free? That's the real freedom move. That's what's going to set you apart. I'll tell you right now. And that's what's going to make your business so much fun, right? Everyone loves it. High ticket sales. Sometimes, we had, when I used to teach, in a sense, it's like, I don't like, you have these, I don't want to call them big swings, but day to day, you don't always get sales. That's not a problem if you're just focused on the high ticket side. Right. But the reality is now, because I say that because, right, you can have a 19K week. Like I just did a video about having a 19K week, and you could have technically no other sales all month and you still had a 19K month. Like that's not bad for a lot of people. So you want to have it for yourself where, how can we have that benefit, but at the same time, it is beautiful having the dopamine of getting those daily sales, right? But seeing money coming in, validation, and continue to optimize that process as well too. Things get really spicy. And like I said, the freedom lifestyle starts to really take a life of its own when you go this direction too. Right? So there's a deep one here today. I think I'm telling you, lean into this stuff here. Free leads are the way of the future. They are right now. You need to be tapping into this if you're not already. And of course, too, like I said, I will absolutely make sure that I hook you up with some good stuff here at the end, like I mentioned I would before. I'd say two things. One, I'll drop my client magnet funnel down below. Like this is basically just it's my ebook that really breaks down kind of some of the strategies I've used just to say at this point, so over $1 million in coaching information over the last 3 years. So if you want to copy that, I'll make sure to drop that down below in the description. And just to help you out, like I promised too, if you need help with maybe making what this low ticket offer should look like, making your high ticket offers even too, and how you kind of have them both speaking together in a way that actually works, I'll go ahead and link up a video above here or somewhere around here where basically it's going to show you how you can go ahead and create that first or next digital product offer within the next 72 hours, right? Actually going ahead and making that offer and launching it in 72 hours, getting it in the hands of others within 72 hours or less. All right. Take advantage there, lean into this, take action for this stuff. I'm telling you, like it's next level. All right. But I'll see you later. Until next time.